Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. And I want to say Shalom to Akim and Akwat out there, pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled Deadly Flooding in Spain. And this is one that I wasn't really planning on doing. It's just one of those things that came across my homepage when I was on Google News. I got it here from the Independent because it actually gave the death rates in the title. There's a couple other more well-known news sites, but they didn't have the death toll, all right, that I could see. So I wanted to get this one instead. It says Spain floods latest. It says the death toll soars to 158 and looting breaks out as more torrential rain expected tonight. It says death toll continues to rise after worst flash floods in 3 decades swept Spanish region of Valencia. So it was last updated 1 hour ago. It says, as the death toll in the wake of flash flooding continues to rise, dozens of looters have been arrested in Spain amid warnings of more extreme weather to come. The official number of people killed by the catastrophic floods has risen dramatically to 158, marking a sharp increase in the official death toll reported this morning of 95 people. It says Spain's prime minister has urged residents to stay home as he warned devastation is not finished and declared Valencia a disaster zone. Thieves took advantage of the chaos, with Spain's national police sharing shocking images of a smashed jewelry store window alongside a large amount of goods taken by looters. The force added that 39 people had been arrested. Torrential rain amounting to a year's worth in just 8 hours in some areas inundated cities such as Valencia and Malaga. Many found themselves trapped like rats in their homes and cars, surrounded by rapidly rising floodwaters. Many affected are preparing for more torrential rain after Spain's meteorological service issued a series of fresh warnings, including the most severe kind, on Thursday. And today is Thursday, right? As it was updated 1 hour ago. So this is judgment, man. This is more judgment. 158 people, and that's just as of yet. Now, they said the most severe one got issued on Thursday, and as you know, right now, today, it is Thursday. So it's judgment, man. Judgment doesn't just happen in America. It happens everywhere. You see a lot of it in all the Asian areas, like India. You see it a lot, and, there's all sorts of judgment going out. I mean, there's judgment going. We don't really necessarily report on it. At least, well, I can't say we, but I myself don't necessarily report on it, because it's just one of those things. I don't add them into my judgment reports. But, there's a lot of death going out in that Israel-Palestine thing and that Russian-Ukraine war. There's tons of it, all right? Tons of it. And that's judgment as well, that they're being brought into that situation. It's just I don't necessarily touch on that because, unlike judgment reports, it's war, all right? So it's expected, all right? It's not like someone got their head whacked off with a machete, or, a meteor came out of nowhere and whacked this guy out, all right, and split his wig, all right? It's expected with the war, but it is still judgment, all right? Dying in battle like that by the sword is still judgment. But this, all right, I like especially touching on ones like these, because this is what they would call an act of God event, all right? That's what they actually call them. The FEMA, I think it is, or other disaster agencies. Actually, that's the clause, or like for insurance, one of their clauses, and one of the things that they cover is quote unquote acts of God, all right? And what is that? Severe flooding, lightning hitting the house and taking some shit out, severe winds that rip things off, all right? Those are considered quote unquote acts of God, because what? That's what they call them, but they really are, all right? They're the acts of Yahweh Bashmi Shai, displaying his vengeance, letting his vengeance roll out, man. So I want to get Ecclesiasticus 39:25 down through 27. I think that's all I have time for, because I'm just about up to the work site. But Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 39:25, it says, for the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal things for the whole use of a man's life are water, that's the highlight for this one, water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing. All these are for good to the godly. So to the sinners they are turned into evil. and you have water, all right, that's you need that to drink, to survive. You need to drink water, right, to wash your clothes, all right, to bathe, all right, to water plants. You need water for a lot of different things, but you can also drown to death in water. Okay, fire, all right, think about that. You can burn to death in that, but you could that's how you do your cooking. What else? That's how you stay warm. All right, well, now there's usually like central heating and stuff like that, but back in the day, you'd have that's how you would cook, is like a what do they call it, like a wood stove. Okay, you'd put the wood in there, all right, and you'd light it up, and then that's how you'd cook your food. And in heating, that's how heating used to work too, with fireplaces and all that. And then iron. I've mentioned iron and all that stuff. Like, you can get that. You can cars, vehicles, all sorts of different things. Doorknobs are all made out of that. But you can also make swords and lances and spears and death instruments out of it. Right? Like it says in verse 27, all of these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil. So these things can be very good. All right, but they can also be used for judgment on the left-hand side for the sinners that are doing wickedly, man. The Lord can take you out with any of those things. Water, floods, right? All these different things. I'm going to read one more. Isaiah 28 and 2. Isaiah 28 and 2. It says, behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And you got to remember, like, one of the most, probably one of the most, if not the most widely recognized account of the Bible is the flood. All right, with Noah. Everybody knows that. Atheists know that, right? Everybody knows that story. Okay, that's one of the probably, I think honestly that probably is the best known story. I don't like calling it a story because that's just a story. It's a recollection, an account in the Bible. I think that's probably the best known one. All right, everybody knows about that. Everybody knows about the flood. Everybody knows about that, because if you weren't, you at least watched VeggieTales as a kid. They talked about it. You probably seen something. That and the Exodus. Those are the two things that are the Exodus and the flood are the two main things that everybody knows. Everybody, even if you're not in this truth, even if you're not a Christian, you're gonna know, man. Right? And the Lord does that for vengeance. All right, because you were doing wrong. You want to do wickedly, and a lot of those people over in Spain, those are Edomites. Okay, 99% of those people are Edomites, man. Okay. They're not Latino or none of that. They're fucking Edomites, man. Rampaging around is being Latino, right? You say, well, no, they speak Spanish. Yeah, so did the fucking Romans. So they spoke Latin, did they not? Which is the same shit, okay? And that's where I'm going to close it for now. I'll come back, Lord willing, after I get off work, Lord willing, and finish this up. All right, maybe I'll add a couple more. We'll see how that goes. But until I piece it back together, shalom. All right, we're back. So, continuing on, I want to go ahead and, where do I want to go from here? I guess I'll just go ahead and read Isaiah 29:6, because we just did Isaiah 28 and 2 not too long ago. All right, well, for you brothers and sisters at least, right? So let's go ahead and get Isaiah 29 and 6, and I guess from there we'll probably go and, maybe do couple freestyle ones. We'll see. So let's get Isaiah 29 and 6, and then we'll see where we're going from there. All right. So it says, thou shalt be visited, Salakia, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. Now, something I want to do, actually, as a matter of fact, I'll just do it. I'll do it here. I'm not going to use the app, because I get the same thing out of this. So let's go and get it. Fuck you. So, let's get it. I want to just see what the word tempest here means. I believe it goes back to a, not a hurricane, but like, I'll go ahead and see. And a great noise, a storm, and tempest. Goes back to the word, is it a flood, or I can't remember what it means. Tempest, a storm, a whirlwind. It can also mean whirlwind, but tempest Let me see. It's from this word, which means what? A storm, a rage, just a storm, all right? So a storm, okay, that's what the word tempest means. And as a matter of fact, it's been a couple hours, so I'm interested in seeing if it's been updated. So it was updated. So what are we at now? 158. I think it was that before we left. Let me go see. Was it that earlier? I don't remember if it was that earlier. I thought it was 158 earlier. Or was it 148? I'm not sure. I'll have to go and check back. Of course, you brothers and sisters will know. But I'd have to go and look back. Let's go and look at more Spain floods. Let's open up on another site and see if they got any new developments. 155. Yeah, it doesn't look like... this is saying 159. Yeah, let's go look at some of those photos, man. This photo's crazy. I saw this one on Reddit not too long ago. Go away. Alright. Just go on images. They'll probably find something better. Yeah, so you can see it here, man. That's... Woo. That is some crazy flooding. See all the cars... There's actually, I want to go and find that one. Ooh, geez, look at this. Now that's that was Italy, never mind. But that's wild. Where's that photo of the car? Yeah, here we are. Look at that. Jeez. What more photos we have? Here you go. That's crazy how those cars pile up like that. It doesn't even look natural. Looks like someone stacked them like that. Yep. What else do we got? Let me see that. Yeah, a little bit of photos there. Few of them. Wish there would be some videos or something that we could see, but you can see that. All sorts of type of debris just littering the streets. Yep. Man, that's a badass flood, man. That's a badass flood. You can see it, man. So, and you know in the coming days, it's that death toll is going to keep going up and up, especially when it looks like this. Ugh. So, continuing on. And the Lord's got these storms. These aren't out of his reach of things that he can do, right? And that's all where, hey man, again, I hate to get the same scriptures over and over again, but with this type of judgment going out, you got to get it. Right here in Psalms 9 and 16. It says, "The Lord is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgaion, Selah." So, hey man, these wicked people, they're snared in the work of their own hands. They're doing the wickedness, right? They're the ones that's doing it. They didn't have to do it, but they did it, all right? And now they're snared in the work of their own hands. And the Lord is known by the judgment, right, which he executeth. Okay, again, like we mentioned earlier, the floods, all right, the Noah, right, Noah and the ark. Didn't mention earlier, but Sodom and Gomorrah, right, and the judgment that went down on Pharaoh, right, when he kept on hardening his heart. So, hey man, the Lord's known by these things, and you shouldn't be surprised if you keep on doing wickedness. And all of a sudden, these things happen, and this happens in lands, man. And the thing is, we've had hurricanes, terrible hurricanes, and as far as it's ever been brought out, none of the brothers were ever involved or sisters were ever involved in any of those things. All right, or at least they didn't perish or pass away or get hurt intensely in any way, right? And tornadoes all over, and so it shows you that's not hitting the men of the Lord, and in the sisters that are following this truth and that are in this truth. But it's only happening to the people of the world. All right, and that's why you want to separate from the world, because these are the type of things that the people of the world get happening to them, right? The floods and deaths and fires and the killings and murders and all sorts of crazy things, man. All right, so I'm going to get Ecclesiastes 9 and 12, and I think we're probably just going to leave it there. It's just a really short lesson today, unfortunately. Just something short, but Ecclesiastes 9 and Ecclesiastes, Slakia 9 and 12. Actually, let me just go and get it. I feel like I want to get a couple more scriptures, but let me go and get Ecclesiastes 9 and 12 first. So Ecclesiastes 9 and 12, this actually needs to be highlighted. Let me highlight that. Boom. It says, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. So the fish in the water, they don't know, when it's going to happen to them. They don't know when they're going to be taken into a net. All right, it just happens. All right, and the birds don't know when they're going to be caught in a snare. It just happens. Okay, and the sons of men, all right, these people in the world, they don't know when, one of these events is going to occur, a flood or a fire or a shooting or, some other event, hurricanes or tornadoes. All right, it just happens. All right, you might have a little bit of prior knowledge with some of these things like a tornado or a hurricane, because you might know that it's moving in, right? But, they're still going to be surprised when it hits them just like that. You don't know exactly when one's going to move in, right? You'll know when it's getting close, all right? But you don't know when, you have to look at the things and you can say, oh, there's going to be a hurricane. You didn't know there was going to be a hurricane until all of a sudden, boom, there's going to be a hurricane. Boom, there's going to be a tornado, all right? Or boom, there's a fire, an explosion, a shooting, some type of crazy event. You never know what's going to be until it's there. Like it says, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. Okay, and as a matter of fact, I want to get this in the Good News Translation. It says, you never know when your time is coming. Like birds suddenly caught in a trap, like fish caught in a net, we are trapped at some evil moment when we least expect it. Now, that's speaking of evil people, so not we. All right, they kind of translated that as, it says for man, okay, and not knoweth not his time. And in a way, yeah, it can refer to that as well. But, these types of judgments don't befall, men of the Lord and women, men, women, and children that are aware and participating in this truth actively. So, let me see if there's any other ones I want to get. Let me go actually, and let's just look up. Let's see what scriptures come up for this. Yeah, I could go and get my notes, but I want to see what actually comes up when you do the King James Bible Online and see which one we want to get. Let's get... There's not a lot of good ones in here for what I'm looking for, at least. All the scriptures are good, of course, but not the ones we're looking for. Let's see. And, well, you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's go and get that one. If I could type. This is Job 19:29. I believe we got it the other day, but we're going to get it again. This is Job 19:29. It says, be ye afraid of the sword, for wrath bringeth the punishments of the sword, that ye may know there is a judgment. Okay? So you should know that, hey, man, if you're doing wickedness, all right, that sword's going to come upon you. And it's not just a literal sword, but it's representative, the modern day sword is the gun, all right, or any type of other judgment, all right, like it says, that you may know there is a judgment. There is a judgment, okay? And a lot of time people realize that there's a judgment when it's already too late. All right, and you don't want to be a part of that. It's deadly flooding in Spain. You're going to see more things, earthquakes, uproars of the people as prophesied in Matthew 24. Probably going to see more floods. All right, don't be surprised. All right, that death toll is going to keep going up. And that's something you can check tomorrow or the next day, Lord willing, we're alive and well. And just go and see what that update is on it, man. Because those numbers, when there's events like that, those numbers generally tend to rise and rise for a couple days. So that's the lesson. A little bit of a shorter one. Slacky if it was a little disheveled. All right, it's not, not up to par as how I usually like it to be, unfortunately. But hey, Spirit's not going to be on you as heavy as it always is every single day. So still got to do that work and get out there and do that work. And Lord willing, it was edifying nonetheless. So that we're going to close out. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKakwadash. Shalom, dear brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, Shalom.